Hey, Amy.
Hey, Angela.
Guess who's going to be on the show today?
Well, I think it's our sparkly tiara loving friend who is a champion of horror writing.
It is also AKA a unicorn because we've tried to get her on the show quite a few times and she's played hard to get with us.
She has been. She's coy.
Yes. So for anybody who, just so you kind of get the idea of who's coming, this will be Nina the Dark Angela. The siren of all the sirens, the siren referred to in Sirens Call Publications, also the head honcho for a number of other brilliant activities, all dark. Also, be careful, she might cut you.
She might.
So,
but I'll take that chance.
I would. You know what? That is a unicorn I would be cut by. I mean, happily. I would be like, yeah, right here. Go ahead.
Yeah, just bestow some magic through a little incision. Can do. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So you ready to meet Nina Dark Angela?
Absolutely.
All right, let's bring her up.
Yeah.
Launch sequence activated.
This is not a drill.
I'm going to put Nina in the middle. She's pinned.
Hi, Nina.
She can't get away.
That's
trapped.
right.
Trapped. I'm sandwiched.
This is the best sandwich ever.
I know. See, this is where the show starts going sideways when we start talking about Amy Angela sandwiches with Nina.
Yeah, we just cut right to it this time. We did not meander on our way to weird, did we?
Well, welcome to the show, Nina. Super excited to have you on here.
Yeah.
I have a lot of respect for you personally as just a publisher working really hard for whatever we do this for. I still haven't figured it out, but like the love of it, I guess.
Yes, lots of love.
Or insanity. But one of the things that we want to make sure that we talk about today is the new Sirens Call number 61 came out. Like last week. It is download. You can have a free download below. I linked to it, so you can download it. Also, a new submissions call. So if you didn't get in the last one, there's a chance to get in this coming one, which will be issue 62, summer 2023. So we want to talk about that. We want to talk about LOH, Ladies of Horror, which Amy and I participate in with you. All the stuffs.
So we also opened a call for a new anthology this week also.
Oh,
just yesterday.
Oh,
Okay,
well, excuse me. This show is now closed because we have to go work on our stuff.
we have to go work.
We got some writing to do.
It was wonderful.
Yeah. Bye, everybody. Great show. So, all right. Well, tell us about this new anthology, if you can.
So I absolutely can. The call is up. You can find it on the website sirenscallpub.com. You can go to open submissions, or you can just scroll down a little bit on the main page. The call is for alien horror. Ooh. And that is the full call. We gave you no details other than don't do this, don't do that.
Right.
Beyond that, it's on you. You pick it, you do it.
Heels are turning. Yes.
And it's aggressive alien horror. So
I am
I can do
sharing
that.
this.
Yeah. The cover is up as a little, hey, sway this way kind of deal. So the cover is a big, mean, blue-looking guy going encountered, which is the name of the book, Encountered. So
awesome.
Yep.
All right. Well, I shared that link in chat for everybody who's just
you.
joining us. Thank you, Pete, for saying hi. And I'm definitely, that is on my list. Don't let me forget anybody, because you know how I operate. I need reminders.
Always helpful for the creative soul.
Yeah, it's a nice way to put it, Amy. Thank you.
Well, I get it.
Well, what else is going on? I know before this, we were having a lot of good conversations about unicorns cutting people and all sorts of inappropriate things. Tell us, us do inappropriate things. Tell us about some of the other stuff you've got going on. You got Ladies of Horror. Also, like the elephant in the room question is, how do you do all of it?
That's still a good question because I have no idea. it's one day to the next, and if I survive, I get up and do it again.
Okay. Well, don't think about it too much then, because we don't want it to start wobbling. Like, yeah, how do I do it?
No warble. There will never be a warble. There's no black hole evidence here. No. So anyway, you both are part of Ladies of Horror, which I very much appreciate.
I love it.
Ladies of Horror is a project that's been running for, I think, about 8 years now, maybe a little bit longer. But it started as a something I did for Women in Horror Month, where I would feature female writers, a new one every day. Feature their bio, a little bit about their, their writing, their worlds. There was a year where we did essays, and then we came up to ekphrastic prose. So what we do is every month I choose 4 pictures and I send them out to the random number of ladies that sign up, and you all get a rando picture. I mean, if you signed up first, second, third, or fourth, you get first, second, third, or fourth picture. I don't pick them. So if you actually get a picture that's really right on par for you, that's by accident. Didn't plan it.
That happens all the time. I just want
Yeah.
to say.
Yeah.
I feel every picture is for me. So
Yeah.
it
They
happens all
are
the time.
so inspiring and evocative, and they hit something, in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the idea is to take something that's pleasant or unpleasant and twist it. Find something in it and give it a twist. Spin it around, like take a pretty picture of a bouquet of pink flowers, and let's hear your horror about that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a good project. It's a fun project, and it starts going live the 20th of every month on Spreading the Writer's Word. And there's usually anywhere between 15 and 30 authors, depending on who's down for that month.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I have loved that project since I started it with you. Like, not started it with you, but started participating in your project. Those are some of the best things I've written, I'm going to say, because like I just wouldn't go there otherwise.
Right, it pulls a lot out of you when you are not only writing, but you know that probably 4 or 5 other. Sorry, I keep going the wrong way. Keep going out of shot. So I'm gonna let that out for me out of shot.
Something got her. She had an encounter.
That's okay. You guys are taller than me, so I'm not trying to be Napoleon over here, but I'm like, why are they taller than me in this?
How tall are you?
5 feet tall, but like our camera, like the way our heads are going, I keep going like, oh, I am like way down there. Okay, that's better. I'll just be like,
We'll do this the whole time.
I'm already on the floor. I can't go very much lower without going sideways. So.
It's okay. We don't have to like cater to my personal psychosis.
Complexes.
Yeah, complexes.
Just so you know, I'm only 5 feet tall too, so we're even. Well,
Yeah,
that was-
there we go.
I'm
We're
towering over
even.
5'3". That's incredible. I've
You're
never done the
gargantuan
count.
compared to
I
us.
know. Kind of a monster. Let's be honest with you that way.
Angela.
I think that's as tall as my dad. So
Really? Your dad and I are just kind of like, hey, man, we're the tall ones. We will reach that on the shelf for you. Yeah.
Hey, I climb shelves for people in the grocery store.
I
I'm a good Samaritan.
constantly climb shelves in the grocery store. One time I had to climb a shelf at freaking World Market when I lived in St. Louis, and this gal came along and I actually did not climb a shelf. I climbed a ladder that they had on wheels. You're not supposed to do that. I'm like, why is it way up there then? What are you discriminating against?
short people.
Short chicks. Yeah.
And if you don't want me on the ladder, hide it.
That's right. Hide the
Yeah.
ladder. Hey, make your squares accessible. B.
Yeah.
Solved it.
Why do we have shelves that are 6 feet high?
No
In
good
fact, since the majority of the population, if you think of it like numbers, statistics, the majority of the population is actually shorter, because I think it's the Chinese population, like the average man, we always picture the average man as like a blonde white guy, cross-culturally, but it's actually, it would be a Chinese man.
They just have more
We
population.
averaged it out.
Yeah, so the average height, everybody, isn't 6 feet tall. Now you know.
That's right.
You've been deluded all this time to think tall people are better, everybody.
Yeah.
Not trying to start a war here, but leave a comment if you agree and I will boot you. No, I'm just
I will
kidding.
ignore
We
all
never do this.
1,000 of them.
That's right. We'll just trip people with our shortness, That's all we can do. Do the
But what's good about being short is we don't hurt ourselves when we fall.
that's true. It's not so far from the ground. Yeah.
Yeah,
Some
as
of us
much.
bounce. Some of us do bounce.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
One in particular.
Okay, I feel like we're getting ready to do a story.
Yes. I mean, I'd be cool with that stuff.
Well, I do have a little girl that lives here in our house, predeceased by I don't know when. She speaks in a dead Germanic language that pushes me down the steps. So I bounce
Oh.
there quite often.
What? Oh
Yep.
no.
Yeah.
Was she being playful or horrible?
Yes. Well, the thing is that I do play with her, and she wants to play forever.
Oh, so she
No.
gets put out when playtime is over.
Endeavor.
And ever and ever. She wants a
Yeah.
forever friend because she's
Yeah.
lonely here.
Okay, Pete. It's what tall people are for, getting things off the top shelf. My son is like 5'10" now, so it's like, oh, thank God, someone in my life for the foreseeable.
Oh, that's
future
hilarious.
who
All
can
that means is
reach
Pete
it.
hasn't seen one of us scurrying the shelves yet.
That's right.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've asked him lately. Hey, can you get that? We're going to the store after this. He's going to be getting things. So
Yeah. Well, and the other thing you can do is tools. We use tools. So, how many times have you taken like a paper towel roll and you use it to hit the other thing that you want off and then you catch it real quick?
Oh
I
yeah,
know.
yes. Oh, we're so good at catching the thing. I one time, this was recently. I was at Price
I can't
Chopper,
do that
and I
face.
went to like the broom aisle because there was a coffee that was like, I want this kind to send to my friend that I send coffee to because he's needs some little help now and then. And so I was like, I went to the broom aisle, got a broom, dug into the shelf and caught it. It's like you do, Angela. You absolutely do. That's what you do.
Yeah.
That's what you gotta do. Or you find some cute dude and you're like, hey, can you reach that for me? In which I really don't do that. But I do it to the teenage workers and they just feel good the rest of the day.
Yeah,
They
that's
feel
why
like
we do it. Not to be like,
No.
hey.
The last one that called me ma'am ended that entirely.
I started being called ma'am at the grocery store when I was 17 and it was like,
Yeah.
but then I got used to it, so I've been used to it for a long time, 31 years.
I don't want to say like I'm not saying that I'm into this or whatever, but when they call you ma'am, if you respond with actually it's mistress, then it just shuts that whole conversation up.
Oh
And
my
that'll be
God, Angela, that's
200
awesome.
an hour just for speaking to me.
I'm gonna start saying that at the public library. Pardon me.
You're going to need to turn around or the price is going up.
I do have my bag of tools. Did you need?
When Angela comes back, I'm going to come down and we're going to visit and terrorize.
Oh
Independence.
yes, yeah. I'm gonna be in trouble though if anybody ever calls me on that because I'll be like, I
We
actually
should go into another town.
Really do that.
have
It's
been.
Come to this town. We'll come to your town and terrorize you. I already have. Ha.
Oh my goodness. Now this show is off to a good start, ladies. I mean, as usual, we have gone sideways all over the place. Let us read some poetry. Did I say that magic enough? Poetry. Magic.
I liked
We
it.
have the magical unicorn poet. Oh
I
yeah.
can't do it. How do you do it, guys?
Look like that.
Oh, there we go. I have spaz hard hands.
This is the screenshot world. This is a screenshot that you didn't know that you needed.
I don't think I've ever taken one, which is why I don't know how to. I don't think I've ever
Oh,
done
yeah.
it. I don't know how to.
Yeah, my hands would be covering it if I was doing.
I like Nina. This is like rage heart.
The rage heart.
I love you. No passive aggressiveness here.
None.
Meanwhile, the audience is scurrying. Oh, look, the numbers are going down.
All
Leave,
right,
abort.
fine.
We haven't even read my bad poetry yet.
But everybody knows what they're getting into. I mean, it's a thing. This is how it is. This
You
is our
step
first
through the door,
Sunday
you pay
show.
the price.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But since we have Freaky Little Imp here and Poetry Freak and the freak that comes out at night, I think we should get into some freaky poetry.
I think so.
Nina, would you like to start us off?
I get to fall off the cliff first, huh?
Well, that way, like when I stumble and like blah, 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 and can't say words, everybody be like, "Gosh, that Nina, God, that was good compared to Angela."
Nailed it.
Actually, what we're going to say is, look how good Angela is compared to Nina. What would we like first? Dark, bizarre, or pleasantly poetic?
God, that's like really tough.
So you
Let's
get
start-
choices. With me,
let's
you
start
get choices.
Pleasant and get more horrifying as we go.
We can do
Okay.
that. We can do that.
Now, I did send this to you guys for the last third Sunday poetry. Is that right?
Yes.
December was a very long time ago in my world.
Was it December?
But I don't think this was read, so
Okay,
language.
yeah, if we ever skip anything, do send it again. We want to read it. We are just sometimes things get shuffled and
I just want to make sure it wasn't crap.
no, we don't reject
No.
any Nina stuff because it's
See, you have to tell me. Now I
I
don't
will-
think you're going to tell me.
I would if I knew where it was. You
Okay.
have to realize Amy
Yeah.
and Angela are spasmos. That's just how it is, just spasmos sometimes.
Spasmositis. Write it
Yeah.
down.
I will say because we're friends outside of this, it's not like we don't know you.
Right
If you ever gave a bad poem, I would say something. And I do
Okay.
do that. Like I will
Thank
say
you.
like, oh, I feel like I don't say like that's a bad poem, but I might say something like, oh, I think that with some work that could be a really good poem, or you
No,
know what I
I'm,
mean?
I'm straight up. Just be like, that
Yeah.
one didn't cut it.
But
Yep.
I have yet to see a bad poem from you.
Yeah.
The only thing I hear about bad poetry in Nina Darkangela's name is when Nina Darkangela says, "This I think is a bad poem," and I
says
usually
about her
disagree.
It's usually about her own work, and it's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
what must she think of my poetry?
Yeah. So yeah, like
No,
so
you guys are
essentially,
fabulous.
think of it like Edgar Allan Poe coming in and going, "Yeah, I wrote this poem about a bird called a raven," or and all that, and I think it's pretty shit, but I'm gonna read it anyway.
Saying I'm going to die penniless and lonely. Is that what you're saying?
No, Edgar Allan Poe I think he had a fairly high opinion of his work.
Yes, he
and,
did.
Yes.
and you know what? If you could just, and Nina, just get there and be like, I made this. It didn't exist before. It's awesome. It
Wait.
doesn't make me puke.
My
Let's
first
do it.
line says, a knock, knock, knock at my door.
Ooh.
No, it doesn't.
Entice
Oh,
me.
I was actually like, that is so weird. How
No,
things
I was
just
into
work
it.
out.
I was ready for it to stab me at the end, kinda.
Yes, that's what it would have to do at that point.
Yeah.
I'd have to stab me at the end if I wrote that.
I'm
Sorry.
into it. Okay.
All
I'm
right.
making all kinds of gestures you guys can't see because I don't gesture.
Yeah, over here gesturing.
All right, so I am obligated now to read, correct?
Yes, you are obligated.
As a rule follower, as we know, I am.
Oh yeah. She's fibbing about that, guys.
Okay. This is called Languishing, and I apologize if I read it badly because that's probably what's going to happen.
She's
Right.
gonna be fine.
I'm going to laugh through the whole thing now. All right, Languishing. Languishing in a field of lavender, lying upon my back. I stare at a clear cerulean sky. I think of you. I think of all we have done, the things we have not. I think of all you have brought to my life, what I have taken from yours, all that has passed between us. I remember moments of laughter, tears of joy, those of pain, moments of unimaginable bliss, happiness never deserved, yet found, shared, cherished. Languishing in a field of lavender, lying upon my back, I watch the gnats buzz, the bees flit about, the curious flies that have begun to swarm. The sky is still, the field quiet. Echoes of sound exist only in my mind. I hear the remembered rustling as you walked away, your hesitation, your mournful cry. So brave, so kind, so understanding, my Savior. It was a world of anguish for you, but the choice, mine. Languishing in a field of lavender, lying upon my back, my chest no longer heaves, my blood no longer seeps. A calm serenity has taken over my thoughts. A white cloud drifts by on my cerulean sky. A dog sniffs my hand. No, not yet. Let me watch the sky a little longer, just until my eyes cloud over. Thank you.
I like it.
I
Thank
remembered
you.
that one, Nina.
I do too.
I feel like either we read it or we read it and then like there
Forgot.
were others that you'd sent and it somehow got overlooked in the reading.
I do remember that one, though.
I remember it too. I loved it. I was
Yeah.
like, ooh, yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. That's
Yeah,
great.
so where was the sucky part that you keep referring to? I mean, I didn't catch that part.
Me
I
neither.
just want to be whimsical. I'm always dark and brooding and dreamy.
You know what? The world needs both. And more,
Yes, I agree.
you know?
Without darkness, you cannot see light, and light is what life
Exactly.
is all about. So,
And sometimes
Exactly.
people need darkness when they're feeling dark, to not feel
Yeah.
alone or to feel words for it, stuff like that.
yeah, we
Yeah.
need a place to put our emotions that we not all of us can get them out in the same way.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and if
The
you have
world-
too much light, you just get sun bleached. I mean, it's just too much.
Which happened to my hair in Florida this week.
It was awesome.
I like it.
Color.
It's okay.
It's
It's usually more raspberry.
I like it though. No, I love a punch of
I'm not
raspberry.
going down without a fight, man. 54, still dyeing my hair raspberry.
And I'm like, bring on the silver.
Oh, I know. That's where I'm kind of going. As I keep going, like, oh, like this move to Brazil gave me so much more silver from the stress, and I was like, okay, well, that was psyche, but look at that, I'm getting like a streak. I want like the Cruella de Vil streak thing.
I've got like the Lily Munster streaks, kind of. They're taking over, but they were like really good streaks there for a while. But I'm cool with it.
I have a small streak right underneath this curl. And I always leave a stripe of white in my gray hair so that it doesn't look like it looks a little more natural.
Yeah.
Here and there.
Oh, it looks cool. I love that color though.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you.
I'm
It's fun.
gratified by
Black cherry next month.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
okay.
love
That
it.
is like the color palette I think for hair. That
You're gonna have me on
makes
once a
joy.
month just to see what color.
Yeah.
Yes, and
Thank you, Pete.
Nina's hair report is.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
More love,
shades of Nina.
Yeah.
Not so
The
dark,
many
Angela.
moods.
Many moods, girl.
The hubs wants to see it blue. So
I was actually
blue is in
thinking
my
blue.
future.
Yay. Yeah, you can do it so easily now. I did
Yeah.
blue in college, but I didn't strip it first, and I had no gray, so it was just really black with blue in the sunlight. But it was pretty cool. Still freaked my dad out. So right.
That's what my hair was
funny.
like as a child. It was so dark that I actually had blue streaks through it. My highlights.
Oh
were red.
wow.
That really dark black. Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah. Now they're red.
Pete says a fantastic imagery and feeling about your poems. So.
Thank you very much, Pete. I appreciate that. Finally, I get to return a thank you.
Yeah. Pete's probably like, okay, they're talking about hair again. There they go.
I'm
Back to
sorry.
poetry.
It's like,
I'm
what
really
time is
sweating
it? Is
because
it time to go?
No, I do love that. I do remember reading that, dude, because I remember the refrain running through it. Like it kind of
Same.
returns to that
The
same
field of
refrain.
lavender.
Yeah.
And I remember
so-
the eyes clouding
poetic.
over.
yeah.
I remember the not yet, and the
Yes.
clouds. Oh, because I actually went through a thing, and I wrote that column for the horror writers thing that kind of I got to dig into my death and afterlife poetry, and there was a lot of it, and a lot of it is like, because I like as a Christian, I kind of think that like when I die, the real thing starts, it's like, because it's like, shadows on the wall of the cave and everything, and then the real thing. And so I don't think of lying in the grave, but I love to write about thinking about lying in the grave and what goes on and what you're aware of. And I don't know why, but for poetry, it's like, I like to spend a little time on
Good
that.
daughter.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me,
Well, and sometimes I kind of think of it like the same concept, but not really being in the grave, but more like, and then I'm going to wake up in my pod and they'll unplug me and say, what were your dreams like? And I'll be like, oh, I dreamed I was a writer and I was poor and it was okay.
I know. I don't mind being poor.
Wait, a poor writer? No. Now,
I
come
know.
on, Angela.
Well,
That's not what we signed up for.
it was a super tropey dream. I mean,
I love it. I love Angela's mystical dreams and mystical seeing of the world. It's helped me many times, actually. So-
which, I mean, I'm not going to talk about it here, but you guys, have you seen the movie Zeitgeist? If you haven't,
I saw your thing about it. I was actually on Facebook. I didn't know there was a movie called Zeitgeist. I was a German major, so I
No,
asked.
Angela, no.
I'm there.
I
Right.
was a little bit like, Holy shit. I don't know. So I was scanning magazines because we're doing the vintage magazines, which, by the way, you can hear it here first. The entire digital collection of Space and Time Archives is now completed with last night's 4 hours scanning marathon. That's per issue. It would take that much. This is why it's taken so long to get all these together. But yeah, so anyways, while I was finishing that, watching Zeitgeist, it took me so much longer because I kept going like, oh, shoot, I've been scanning the same page like 4 times. Okay, let me delete, rewind. So, but
I'm into it.
I will not go further into there. We'll talk later. But
Yes,
so,
we will.
poetry.
By the
Amy,
way.
do you have anything to read?
I do. Okay, so forgive me if you're like a big podcast and A minor listener, because I just did an episode where, remember how I was going to collect dreams for the Rattlesnake Dream episode? Well, I was kind of like, National Poetry Month ended, and I was like, God, I'm tired. I think maybe I'll skip my podcast this week. But I already have my song, Rattlesnake Dream, ready. I'm just going to read some of my old dream poems. Angela probably remembers the summer that everybody went to scout camp and I was alone. And I'm like, I'm just going to write like Rilke did in a week. I'm going to write a chapbook, but it's going to be dream poetry. And then it was so boring, but only because I picked the better unboring ones, hopefully for the podcast episode. But this was in it. So you've heard it before if you've heard the Rattlesnake Dream episode. But it's called, Okay, My Bathroom Dream. So I often have dreams of communal living type settings. And in one dream, I lived in a dingy gray boarding house. My husband was away somewhere and our kid was still a baby. So I found a corpse, recently deceased, but I hesitated to call the cops because I thought they would immediately believe I was involved in the death. I'm pretty sure I found him dead in my room one morning. Some man. I ended up stuffing the body into a giant duffel bag so that I could walk down the hall to the communal bathroom without anybody finding him while I was out and, getting the wrong idea. In the bathroom where I'd lugged the corpse and my baby, also it resembled the girls' bathroom in my old church basement, I got the idea to leave the corpse in there and walk away. Naturally, I pinned a note to the duffel bag. Please call the cops, this corpse. Accidental death. Yes, solved it. The end of my bathroom.
I loved it. I loved it.
I feel like that has to be a whole story.
Yes.
Like that needs to be written out into like in 1,000 words at least.
In between every line, there's 1,000 words on that one.
You're smart enough to
Seriously.
fill it in the way that you see it. And who was this guy? It's better as a mystery because that's how the dream went. I was just like, whoa, sometimes dreams are like, oh shit, and that's what happened in that dream.
Oh, that's
you wake up and
funny.
you're like, oh, thank God.
That was
He
fun.
says, how weirdly morbid.
Weirdly
And
morbid.
yes, that's
Perfect
why I'm so
description.
into it because I'm like, that is a great idea. If you find a dead body, just leave it in a common area and be like, I don't know what that is. Who wrote that note?
Pin a note to it. Very
know,
diligent. Very, very
just
diligent, Amy.
I know. I feel like it's like leaving a note on the hood or on the windshield of a car when you ding it. And here's my insurance info, except no info. Just, hey, can you take care of this because accidental death? I mean, he's in a duffel bag and all, but that's just for the kids not tripping.
That
over
was
it,
convenience and stuff. Like, because you don't want to leave a body like that just laying around.
freaking out.
Besides, it's very strange to drag a body down a hallway versus a duffel bag.
Yes.
It's good.
You're right. I think a duffel
That's
bag would
a good
somehow be
point.
easier. The
Much easier.
fabric against the carpet or the tile or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. My mind
Yeah.
made a plan, and it turns out it was brilliant.
It was a good one.
Yeah, see, this now makes me think because I always go to the darker explanation. So every time I've seen somebody dragging along a suspiciously large duffel bag, I always think, oh, there's a body in that. And
I
then
do
I
too.
tell myself, Angela, stop hoping. It's not, the world does not always be your way. And then it would have been, like it could have been in Amy's case.
Oh, you know what? You know what I think? How many of my bodies would fit in that bag? That's how I measure things and evaluate the world going by. How many of my limp bodies will go in there? That will give me
I
information.
love it.
There was once a car that we were behind, just an ordinary car, and they had their trunk up and they had this big suspicious looking body-sized bag in the back.
Yep.
And so I started taking pictures And I cannot remember which of my kids was sitting with me. And they said, "Are you taking pictures because you think that's a dead body?" I was like, no, not that predictable.
That's how you train them. Be
Adjunct
aware.
question. Were you taking them to enjoy them later or for research?
How are those different?
That's true. She enjoys her research. She loves her work.
Absolutely. You have to.
Yeah.
I will say, when I was getting the police, you do the FBI background check for your visas. I was kind of like, they still don't check your search history, right? I mean, just what you've actually done, not what you've written about or thought about or fantasized about or research doing.
There has to be the writer factor. What? It's like they found out during COVID, horror readers and consumers, of horror just deal with life better because they have exposed to things, they've made
We're
plans.
ready.
Yeah, you can roll with it.
We've already done the
We've seen
research
it
as
all.
well.
Bring it.
Yeah.
That's what happened during COVID. How many writers did you know that went, "Oh yeah, that's like that book," or like this situation?
Yes.
Oh yeah, so and so wrote about that.
On that podcast, Monster She Wrote. Yeah, they totally were doing that. I love that.
Or, oh God, I have to stay home now.
Yeah.
Oh, was that a dream come true or what? Oh my gosh.
All right, I probably shouldn't admit this in public, but when COVID hit, it's not like I was like, "Yay, COVID." But when they told me you just have to stay in your house and communicate by computer all the time and never leave, I was kind of like, "Oh my God, is this heaven? Like, have we all died and gone to heaven?"
I agree. And Angela and I both, within a month of each other, once things started to get back to normal and we had our jobs, we were like, I'm gonna leave my job, I think. Stayed home and did some more staying home.
It's just nice to not have to like go outside your house. I don't know. I never got cabin fever. What is that even?
I didn't either. I loved it. I dreaded going back. Not really dreaded, but I was kind of like, this has been bliss, just bliss. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it empowered the idea of being an introvert as well. Like where before all the introverts really, there was something wrong with us.
Right.
Why are we not more social? And then suddenly when we watched all the extroverts struggling to survive.
What's wrong with them?
Yeah, we were like,
they were
we're
adaptable.
fine.
Yeah,
We're
and now you see
fine.
all the memes and everything on social media about just this, like army of introverts who just identify with one another for real.
Yeah,
Did we
I
become
honestly,
counterculture somehow?
yeah,
We did. We have a cult following. Yeah.
I kind of think that we're
Subversive.
probably the majority, but you only hear about the extroverts so much because they're the ones in everybody's faces.
They're the ones talking. Yeah, they're doing the talking.
They're the ones at the UFO fair.
Yes.
Oh, it's just me. That's me.
The UFO fair. That's
It's coming up. I can't wait.
All right. Well, tell me about the UFO fair. Like, what is this UFO fair? Because I do not know this knowledge.
All right. So Pine Bush, New York, which is about maybe an hour from here. I usually go up with Lee. Lee's another partner in Sirens Call Publications. Lee Andrew Foreman, fantastic author. His book, The Berry Box, haunting, based on true facts. Most of it is true that's in it. You say based on because we don't want to terrify the fuzzy bunnies. Go pick it up, read it, enjoy it, love it. But Lee and I go.
Yes.
Lee and I go every year to the UFO Festival, which is about a half an hour from his place. And it's just UFO stuff everywhere, aliens everywhere. People come in costume. It's usually on Memorial Day weekends. So I don't go in costume. It's way too hot. I'm rocking a tank top and something with a lot of pockets. So I don't have to carry anything. But yeah, it's a ton of fun. They do a Galaxy Gala or Gala of the Galaxies, something like that, where they actually host a full black tie event at the end, of the evening. They also do contests throughout the day. You can win best costume, best this, best that, most fun so-and-so. They have live music. It's very much a country fair with a UFO angle.
Oh,
That's
baby.
awesome.
That's fabulous.
Fun.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, well, this
I love
just
that that's
made the
going
bucket
on.
list. Yeah.
And the best tip of all, the best white chocolate chip lemon cookies on the planet can be bought there every year.
Oh, lemon.
Ooh.
Lemon
Oh.
and white chocolate.
What time of year is this again? Like, so I can start planning
Memorial
a
Day.
trip.
Yeah, it's Memorial Day weekend this year, which I think is beginning of June, first weekend in June, maybe. But that's when it is every year. If you look
Okay.
up UFO Festival Pine Bush, New York, you'll find it. They've got a
Okay.
website. I just don't remember the URL. Sorry.
But that's all right. You gave them the Google.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can
Google it.
They're all so good at that as we are. You know,
We
this is why-
empower you right
Mhm.
now.
That's good. Empower.
to go in and Google that.
Yes. I
And
did
for an
share
extra-
the.
And for an extra $9.95, somebody
Yeah.
else has to fill in the blank.
You can have naked pictures of Amy.
What? Just because I said I wasn't
Winner,
gonna lift
winner,
my shirt
chicken
up, you
dinner.
can't get away from.
Well, I want to actually make money at this. Okay, I don't want to like scare people off and be sued.
Oh, bless you for that, Angela. Oh, I was gonna
Aw.
say you get a UFO ride, but maybe I was off track, right? It's that kind of
I-
UFO fair.
I could go on the ride comment, but we'll. Oh my god. Oh, Pete
Okay.
said I shared the berry box link,
Hey,
and then
thank
Pete
you,
says his mom bought it.
And Lisa,
Aw.
thank you also.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, and your mom bought a copy. That's wonderful, Pete.
Yeah,
That is
Lee,
beautiful.
We'll be very happy.
Yeah.
he's actually another one of our unicorns that one day we will get on this show.
Each.
Yep.
Come on. That's right.
I'll
He's one of
drag
us.
him. I'll drag
Yeah,
him.
this is
Get
a
him in there.
challenge, Lee. Nina knows where you live.
That's right. Oh, that would be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lee contributed to my podcast one time. And wait, did anybody else? Angela, did you, Nina? Yeah, you did.
What podcast?
The podcast, wait, the one about Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I was in
that.
I
Yes!
remember that. Yeah,
That was a fun episode for me.
yeah, that was
The-
good. That was good. That was the one that we're like, oh, Valentine's Day. What even is that? Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I know. It was was all about the
That was
Untouchables, basically.
Yeah.
Andy
What's
Garcia.
What's all this pink? And why isn't it a
Oh,
pink?
Brr.
Why don't they have those things anymore that they had like back in the 70s and 80s when we were kids, like at school? They're like those mellow cream pumpkins only. They're pink and red and white. Where did those go? Come back. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one who thinks so, but I do believe
I
it.
loved those.
Gosh, so did I. They were like cupids. They were like elaborate little cupid molds and hearts and stuff.
Oh,
but
I remember those. I remember
Mhm.
those.
want them back myself. Yeah.
Now, Pete is nervously laughing in chat. So we have accomplished our mission, ladies.
We've done it. Angela, we've done it again.
We've terrified poor Pete.
Sorry,
Well-
Pete. We will behave starting now.
Speak for yourself.
Live.
That was the royal we. We in this.
Oh, it was a
square,
royal
this is
we?
a coronation.
I'm
Right here, this
theoretically.
rectangle. I will
I'm
behave.
obeying again. Okay, I'm obeying. I get it. It has to happen
Theoretically,
sometimes.
this might happen.
It
I
might.
do want to go to the Sirens Call submissions call, the open submissions. I will get the actual words out at some point. Tell us, kind of like, can you give us hints of like, what are you looking for? I know it's a cryptid issue, right? Is this
Oh, for
cryptid
the
issue?
summer zine?
Yeah, the
Yes.
new one. Like, so for people wanting to send a story, besides the fact that the link is below, can you give them some hints?
Sure.
Like, I believe
absolutely.
Nina would say, shun formatting, people. Shun formatting. I don't want to put words into her mouth.
Well, according to Angela, it has to come shun formatted.
I don't think I actually saw that in your call, but I'm just.
It's
you know.
not.
She's improvising.
Because no matter
Again.
what we put in, it doesn't matter. So we just go with Times New Roman, 12 point. We'll fix it. Don't sweat it.
Yeah.
Bless.
So
No
okay,
poetry more than 50 lines. I know that
yes,
one.
nothing less than 10 and no more than 50.
Yep.
Exactly. So the call for the summer e-zine is actually, they're all calls for dark fiction or horror. It's always welcome. If you write a good piece, send it. It doesn't matter whether there's a sub theme on that issue or not. We will always accept good horror because we want to get it out there. We have a readership. Our circulation is 35,000. It goes up on the bigger issues. It drops a little bit on the like summer. People are on vacation. but by the end of the year, it still hits its full readership, that issue.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah. So this particular issue's sub-theme is cryptid lore, and we want you to make up your own cryptid. Now, there is a
Oh.
small little challenge in there for you. If you want to go with a typical cryptid trope, it just really has to be good. If you think
Yeah.
you're going to outdo originals, but that's okay. Give it a try. Give it a whirl. What can it hurt? We publish anyone who, brand new writers who've never written anything before, who want to give it a try, if it's good enough, or anybody of note, anybody who's getting shelved out there still, you're welcome to send too,
That's
good
what I think is so
love this
awesome
record.
about Sirens Call. Is
What's
that you are? That's what I think is so awesome about Sirens Call is you guys are such a support for the community at large.
Yes.
Even if you're a bigger writer, it's good because you have such a wide readership. I will say that's where one of my stokers came from because I did that essay, and because people could read it freely,
Yeah, for
everybody
free.
could read it and decide if they liked it or not. So
And-
I
oh my
attribute
gosh.
that stoker to you.
Oh,
It's such a great day when Sirens Call comes out because it is huge and it is full and it's horror. It's just like Friday. It's like I don't know if it's Friday always when it comes out, but it always feels like Friday. It's just like weekend planned. I love it. I love it.
this last one, the spring one that we just released, is 236 pages.
Oh wow, yeah,
100 different authors in that one, 173 pieces. So
yeah.
it's a biggie. I just got an email this morning from someone one of our authors that's in it, a contributor, actually wrote to me. And pardon anybody who might take offense to these words. They're not offensive in the least. I don't find them offensive, and that person didn't mean them in an offensive manner. Good God, woman. It's over 200 pages. I'm sorry. Please take my story next time. Because he used to call me woman. I'm like, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh, that's so funny.
He's a regular contributor. He's a really nice guy. And he was just like, can't believe it's over 200.
Okay, well, I'll help the audience out right now. Page 101, babies. That's where Amy is.
That's right. The spider something?
There was Twilight Spider and something else that I don't it's out there in the world, belongs to the world now, belongs to the ages.
I will say I don't think I've ever been able to finish an entire Sirens Call before the next one comes out because there's always so many things in it.
Yeah.
But always good. Like
Yes.
yeah. So,
Oh yeah, we
always a
get
pleasure.
at least double the submissions that we include, if not triple, on some of the issues.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So we get a ton. And like I said, if it's fair, we'll put it out there. I mean, it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be high-end literature. It doesn't have to be, anything, fantastic. It just has to,
yeah.
and we will give you a chance to show the world what you would like to show.
I
Yeah.
love
Some
that.
people will love it and some people won't. And that's the case for all 173 pieces,
Yeah.
including poetry.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a pretty big poetry section.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just looked at the time. This is supposed to be a half an hour show. I feel like we haven't even started talking. So I kind of feel like we may need to catch this unicorn again. I'm just saying. We do have empty
Unicorn
dates.
will come back, yes.
Yes, we do have empty dates. I will email you right after this. No.
Okay.
But before we go, I just want everybody to kind of say, like, what are you doing? Where can we find you? Like this is the time where you get to pimp yourself. So I'm gonna start with Nina, and then Amy gets to pimp herself, and I'll probably forget because I forget. But anyways, Nina, what are you doing? What have you got coming up from you personally as well as Sirens Call? Like, where can we find you to support you?
Okay, well, to find me, to support me, sirenscallpub.com is actually the best place to find all of my links and my media. Tend to hang around on Instagram a little bit, spreading the writer's word for the Ladies of Horror project, Pen of the Damned, which is another project that I'm the administrator of. Angela, you're a member of Pen of the Damned also, a very proud member. We love our Damned very much. You can find me at Nina at sirenscallpublications.com, which is a little bit of a mouthful and a lot of typing. So dark with a C, DARC.Nina@gmail.com is easier. It all goes to the same place. You can find me there.
I am sharing these links in chat as we're talking. And Pete says about Sirens Call, it really helped his confidence when he got accepted.
Oh, that's wonderful, Pete. I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah, I just like kudos to you because I want to say, like, how many writers have you given that confidence to? I'm going to say a ton.
A lot.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, Lee, one of the partners in SCP, we published his first piece, and 8 years later, he's one of the owners. So
Yeah, there you go.
yeah, that's pure example right there.
Yeah, awesome. Well, keep it up because we love it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate that. Appreciate the love for it.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
All right, I guess that's your awkward transition, Amy. Pimp yourself.
Wait, let me figure out which time switch over to wait, you. You.
All right. Here I am. Okay, so I've been doing Podcast in A Minor, which is a songwriting podcast of weird little songs, and that's on, like, you know, Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and you can Google it and it'll come up. And let's see, I haven't been doing as much visual art lately, but I have a little thing that I'm thinking about for that. But doing some poetry on Amazon.com. Just look up Amy Zollers and you'll find it. I don't know how to point to it because I always point the wrong way. Yep. That's the one. Okay. So it's got some collections of poetry, and sometimes I'm on Instagram at hypness_and_outrage. See you there.
Awesome. I need to get some of those links from you, and I will add them to this description.
Neato. Okay.
So just remind me.
I'll
So
send
if
that
you're
off.
watching this later, go and look in the links because I will have added links.
Yeah.
And then we lost Nina. She
Nina
disappeared.
vanished.
Somebody
There
ate
she
her.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, Angela, where do we find Angela Eureka Smith?
Just AngelaRicoSmith.com. I do actually have an exciting announcement. I have a story in Nina's publication that we just talked about, Sirens Call, which I was like, yay. And I sold, well, not sold because I'm donating it back. Well, gosh, that sounded pretentious, but I'm so nice that I'm donating it back. It's
Life
not
is
much.
complicated.
Yeah, exactly. Ignore all the words I just said until this. But Shimanchu Nukui got a story of mine, and it was an essay on why I started researching the occult because of an experience with my uncle. And before that, in our family, it was very much like, you know, don't research the occult because blah, 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 you know, they'll come get you. And then when my uncle was in my house after death and exploding my stove, my microwave, the tires of my scooter, the tires of my car, the tires of my bike, all in the same day. And the blender at work was going off when I passed and the TV was turning on.
Damn.
That's when I said, maybe I should research this a little bit and find out what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
And I did, and did the stuff to pass him on his way. And that's how I got interested in it. So that essay is showing up in Shimanchu Nukui, which means Shimanchu, the people, the island people, which is the Okinawan indigenous people. Nukui just means a voice, so Shimanchu voice.
Very nice.
Shimanchu voice.
Awesome.
But yeah, I'm super proud of that just because it's specifically Shimanchu.
Yeah. So are you going to put that link in the, if we come back, we can find it?
Yes, that's a good idea. I'm going to do that.
I'd like to see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. It's not out yet, but it will be out.
Okay.
Like whenever it's out, I'll share it and everything.
Sure.
So.
Yes.
But I think Nina has something to show us. I feel like there's a
I
show
went
and tell
scurrying.
happening. Oh my goodness.
Oh my
Look
goodness.
at all those
you got
beautiful
my
books.
puppy books. Thank you, Nina, for all of your support.
Glittering
Glittering.
Ghosts. This is like looking for
bad
a
at
yearbook
this.
of last year.
Annoying.
Oh, she's got
Oh,
my
she's-
favorite one.
I even have that one.
The one-
Oh my goodness.
I promised the people I would read from the Eye of Tony Hicks on the last day of National Poetry Month, and then I conveniently misplaced it. That was by accident. Oh, look at my cat.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, Nina. Cheer. Oh boy, that's my
Aw.
erratic emotions. But oh, look at my derpy
Airing
cat.
in
Look at
circles.
you,
That
cat,
is
airing in
probably
circles.
that is
Aw.
probably one of my favorite titles, Airing in Circles, because it's
You know where I
just
got
so
that
like
from? I stole it from freaking Einstürzen and Neubauten. They have a song called Salamandrina, which is about a female goddess salamander thing, you know, probably something out there in mythology that I don't know about. But you know that people think they're born in fire because the logs would catch on fire and the salamanders would come out. And there's a line in there in German that's like, okay, I'll say it in German real quick. Verirren des Nachts im Kreis umher und werden vom Feuer. Anyway, the thing is, we err in circles through the night. It means we wander in circles, but their word for wandering is irren, which also means insanity and also means err, ERR. And I'm like, God, I love that word. So I'm like,
that is cool.
I'm like, that's going on a cover of a book that is messed up in some way.
If we ever start a band, the three of us, we have to call it the German word for Aaron.
Irren. IRREN. Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, we will.
Sing ever.
Yeah. Irren.
And by the way, I have Angela's books too, but they're on that bookcase, so I can't get to them.
Yes, I have some Vangelas and they're upstairs in the coffee table where I will see them and read them because if I just put them in myself, I lose them. So
I was gonna say I used to have all those books in paperback, but now they're all in this because I had to leave. Oh, look it. So it shows it turns on as because I'm moving it, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now I do have all of those in ebook. So I will say get them in paperback and ebook.
Hey, you could.
Absolutely.
That's right. That's right.
Well, I think that's it for us now. I mean, I feel like we barely talked.
I know.
Oh, we have nothing to say.
That's
No.
right. We
I feel
were
like we haven't even gotten to
reticent
the
in here
point. I will close. Yeah,
I think we could do a feature film, perhaps
could.
even a miniseries.
we
and it
could.
would be a treat for everyone who watched.
You know, I
Absolutely.
will say, and this is an open invitation to you guys. You know, Colleen Anderson from SFPA is coming to visit in, I think, 2 or 3 weeks. So I really do need to get on getting her a bed. But
Oh.
we are going to film like clips and just make like a funny thing. Poets, like, you know, Girls Gone Wild. We're going to do Poets Gone Wild in Brazil.
Oh, it's on the run. Yeah.
I just feel like that could be a thing. If you guys want to come visit Brazil, we could do some more
When is-
Poets
See
Gone
what the future
Wild.
holds. Yeah.
Yeah, and Colleen is the experiment, so she's gonna like maybe have the bed or not. I don't know, but we do have
Roll.
yeah. So, but
You an air bed. Oh my God.
subsequent poets will be covered with comfort.
Yeah, see, the thing is, we're poets, and I think that we are able to live with a certain amount of anguish and possibly porn,
Anguish I
you know?
identify with.
Right. And so it'll seem like nothing, I think.
Yes, that does remind me though to get the Mosquitero, which is the, you know, those beautiful romantic screen curtains that go over beds. In the States, we think of like, oh, that's so special and sweet. It's actually also keeps the mosquitoes off you at night, so it is a good thing to have over your bed.
You wake up and there's a big Brazilian tarantula on the outside of it. Thank God. Yeah.
And I'm running for a jar, like, ooh, get it.
I was gonna say.
I've fainted unto death.
Just Amy, lay there still. And you're just like,
Get it.
Yes, not that I want to discourage anybody, but we do have some rather large spiders and a bat. I felt very blessed because we had a bat the first week we were here in the house, which everybody was like, oh, that's really rare. And I was like, it's a sign.
I was gonna say, is this some kind of like cool
Good luck.
superstition? If the
I know
bat
what-
comes with you.
Yeah, and not to like, I feel like I don't want to go too far because I know people are probably like, okay, you said an hour. But when I made my altar here, I don't know how this happened. I got video of it because I was so like freaked out, and I take video of everything and pictures. But I made my altar. So I literally put it together on a shelf. I turned around, turned back, and there was this huge frog crawling up from the altar. And I'm kind of like,
Where?
okay, well, like I believe in magic and everything, but where the hell did you come from?
That's amazing.
Yeah, and then he circled the entire living room, and then he went back down to the altar and then out the front door. So
He had
He blessed
business
the
to
home.
conduct. of some
yeah, that's
sort.
what I kind of felt like.
you
Like,
blessed your home.
yeah, so we have released this
I love that.
the spirits
That's
here, I
fabulous.
guess, or something. But yeah, I felt very like, it's awesome.
You're
Honored.
in tune.
But enough
Oh.
about yes, because that would be like a whole nother hour show. Because then let me tell you about the caterpillar. No.
Make a list and we'll do a show dedicated to that. We could do that on
Yeah.
Third Sunday Poetry. We could
yeah,
just
yeah.
talk about
All
that.
the freaky things that Angela wants to talk about. There are
See, if
so
you just put them
many.
in a little poem, a prose poem. That'll work.
That's
She's like,
actually
"Enough room."
that's actually going to be the next one. I'm doing the little mid-journey experiments. So I did the one on Instagram. Now I'm doing it on Twitter. And so the third one, I don't know where I'm going to put it, but it is going to be about like weird things that I think about.
Yeah.
So like that. So in verse.
Yeah, epic.
So
Thank you,
Would be
Peach.
epic.
yeah. But on that note, we better go. I want to thank you guys for being here. As always, Amy, thank you for being my co-pilot in this poetry flight. Again, couldn't do it without you. Thank you, Nina, for being like just Nina, a huge support for the horror community, the writer community in general, and women. I'm going to say like a champion of dark, like horror women.
Yep.
Thank
The
you.
scary girls.
Exceedingly kind. I am a scary girl.
Takes one to know one.
You love your scary girls.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm going to end this because I do like to end on a video because it's a much more graceful exit because, we all know me and my awkwardness. I'm going to end it on a video. But speaking of that poem that went on Instagram, this is the video that came of it.
All right.
So, and I will see everybody. Oh, next week we have Celine. Oh, God, I always want to say Celine Zion. Lee Murray and her daughter Celine, not Celine Zion. That would be weird. But Lee and Celine, and they're going to be talking about, the trope of Asian mothers and daughters. So that's the Mother's Day. Let's find out about that. So they are the next show. Yeah. So other than that, I will see you all later. Bye. Oh, here's the awkward part again. Where was I? Okay. Yeah, put this up. There we go. Okay. Now we're good. I will see you all later, and thanks for being on the show.
Oh, yeah, they can't see us.
I walk through the heart of the world in dreams metered by thrumming astral pulse, invoking ancient divinity, steeping me in rapture. Monstrous magic thoughts leak from my core to stain a page in a book of dangerous imperfection. But paper fails to hold the blue lotus vision. Rough scratches are pale ghost whispers of what I have seen. I wish I could bleed poetry to the cosmos. Let the celestial song of the moment flood my veins. Sacrifice myself to carnal word carnage. I desire ignition as the universe unspins her threads to connect me to the unbound verse and the colossal joy of being. I pivot in the terrestrial flame, and eternity unfolds before me with a lack of regret before collapsing like origami birds in the rain. The sun sets, but I have no concern as the light snuffs from the world. There will always be stars. There's always the moon. Fear makes dead weight. As the sky falls, I see you. We connect, embrace, and plummet together into embryonic chaos with abandon. Life continues, and so shall we. And here is a secret. Fruit only becomes wine when pressed. Under pressure, we are intoxicating. You weep in ink, and I love you for it. You've shared your soul between those lines. But we can't escape the darkness. Night is always with us. We look to the heavens for guidance. We burn the world for warmth. And from the clouded shadows comes the answer. Love. The answer is always, always love. We find it here, hidden among the utterances of our magnum opus, a story we write in breath. We strain to see prophecy beyond foreshadowing. We scale our intentions to reach up, searching for signal in the infinite. Back to back, we hold the light between us. We illuminate the path forward. We find the steps to guide us in this strange, stumbling dance, under the spell of the galaxies that spin us with us. Together we challenge the darkness, walk in it, are not afraid. We remember, remind, the blackest nights are still followed by dawn. Starving, we consume the wisdom of our ancestors, see through their visions, and learn from their words. Satiated, we savor the knowledge, hold it in our hearts and minds for the generations to come. And yes, they will come. Enlightened, we see our lives connected by roots, like kintsugi, broken shards held together by veins of gold. We are like infants demanding stars and drinking the Milky Way. The universe is kind. We are like children devouring words and spitting ink. The universe is forgiving. We are like juveniles refusing to listen and dreaming the celestial. The universe is wise. Thoughts can be banned, burned, and barred, but our essence will always find a way to reach out, to escape, to fly free. Prison can be more than iron bars. It can be an insidious state of illusion. Freedom can be more than a scrap of flag and mumbled pledge. It can be a blindfold falling away. Justice, equity, and fairness are not trends that shift with the current state of distraction. Those with vision use it to see. Those with strength stand firm. Let your own self be free. And have hope. This is just a wrinkle in the unspooling of times. It isn't our responsibility to save the universe. Our responsibility is to save ourselves. Thank you for watching.